okay. So music was there the whole time.
My dad's a musician.
Oh.
My dad's a lifelong full-time musician.
Okay.
He's fairly well known in the area. He never got famous, but he did some stuff with Disney, wrote songs for the Olsen twins.
Get out of here. Really? Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. He went to LA.
So he's responsible for that shit?
Yeah.
All right.
No, he's responsible for making them sound not like
okay.
shit.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they spliced that together word for word. Sorry, Mary Kate and Ashley.
That's
you
hilarious.
know that's gonna come back to haunt me.
That's funny. Well, I mean, I think they've given up on the music.
I know. But we're talking in 1994.
Yeah. So wait a second. So like you're of the right age that like Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen were like they were like stars to our age, right? So tell me about give me your perspective on that, because it's a little unfair to ask you about the working process, but like your dad's working with like Mary Kate and Ashley, and I believe, if I'm not incorrect, that was right around the time the countdown clock, which is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. But that was right around their 18-year-old countdown clock thing was coming around.
No, I think
you're
giving me a little bit too much credit on my age.
No. But like they started doing their music stuff right as they were becoming like 18 years old, or was it later on?
No, they were youngins. They were little ones doing it. Like not little, but I mean early adolescence.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. They were doing music and all that stuff way.
Glorious, right?
I forgot all about that part of it.
That was my jam.
I forgot all about that portion.
Before they were even.
Because I think more of them, like when I think of the Olsen twins.
Why are you thinking about them?
I don't. But because you brought them up.
I'm sorry.
But like I think about them A, from like the Full House era, and then B, that like I remember when they were about to turn 18, and I listened to a lot of Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony and stuff, and like I remember being creeped out at the time. Like I was only even like, maybe I was early mid 20s or something, and I remember sort of being like, there's a countdown clock for these two fucking 17-year-old girls, and like it was weird. So, and then it was right after that they started doing like the movies that were like, or no, maybe it was even before that they were doing that.
So I'm picturing 1992, 1993. We would have been like 14.
Yeah. That's fucking
because you're pretty much the same age as me.
Yeah. That's weird. It's weird that I'm glad I don't have that much of a perspective on the Olsen twins.
No, but then it all went right there at the beginning of then the Paris Hiltons and all this shit, and it all went downhill from there, right?
Yeah. So what do you remember? Do you remember all of that stuff with Dad? Like, was that a thing to you?
So so like my dad had a show in London on TV here, and we got to be on the show. And
okay.
We sang on all of his albums, and I grew up in a music studio. And
like he had like what, he was like the local Sonny and Cher.
My dad was a local children's entertainer.
Get out of here! So he's like Captain Kangaroo.
He still is, right?
Okay.
So my dad, his name's Glen Bennett, but he doesn't do a whole lot much anymore, but he's still...
But this was like a regional television...
Yeah, it was I think it was Saturday or Sunday mornings. It was a kids show on, it was called Friends, which we always joke about that he didn't copyright it, right? Because we would have been rich.
That's hilarious.
So
like, that's gotta be, so is that part of the moving thing too?
No, he was always here.
Oh, okay.
Once my mom and him broke up, he was always here. So he was our stability here in London. We came here every weekend.
Right.
Well, most weekends.
So how old were you when you moved to London?
15. Well, 14, grade 9.
So you didn't kind of grow up with Dad being like the children's, like, in the town where Dad was, like, you didn't go to school with people who knew your dad from TV, right?
Well, no, but my dad used to come and sing at all our schools.
Oh, so you did kind of have...
Everybody knew, and like Ontario, he was pretty well known, like everyone knew who our dad was.
Right.
It wasn't like, but he's never been famous, but like we can't go to the mall when we were kids without kids being like...
Okay.
Right?
What was that? That had to have been fucking... Is it weird? Is it weird growing up with that?
But I don't know, because you don't know any different. Is it weird? Is it weird? It's different, but it's cool. Your dad's Glen Bennett.
Right.
Even still, like when I was in like my 20s and I started at the hospital, and people my age would find out who my dad was. They watched his show and they know his songs.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't know any different.
It's great because you seem like you really kind of enjoy it. And a lot of times you hear the stories where it was a bad experience.
I don't think he would have been more present if he hadn't been a musician. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think people try and make that about what it is, but it's people are as present as they want to be.
All right.
I don't think being a musician had anything different to do.
Right.
I love like performing and love all of that, so that was always at least something we have in common.
Right.
Right.
Plus when like people would come up and approach him when you were around, you're the type of personality that wouldn't shy away from those people anyway. You'd be more engaging with them, so it was just another experience.
There was a lot of waiting.
Yeah.
But I mean, I spent half my childhood in the Long and McQuaid parking lot.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Don't forget, you can subscribe to our full audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you find your audio podcasts. The full episodes, highlights, and our live off-the-floor performance videos can be found at our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the AVB Podcast. Of course, you'll find links to our incredible sponsors and this week's guest in the description below. The AVB Podcast is part of the Border City Network. Find more great content at bordercitynetwork.com. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.